بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: يغفر للمؤذن منتهى أذانه ويستغفر له كل رطب ويابس سمع صوته. رواه أحمد والطبراني في الكبير والبزار، إلا أنه قال: ويجيبه كل رطب ويابس ورجاله رجال الصحيح. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the mu'adhin will receive forgiveness to the extent the voice of his adhan reaches. Every living and non-living thing that hears his voice supplicates for his forgiveness. In another narration, it is stated, every living and non-living thing replies to his adhan. Musnad Ahmad. وعن أبي صعصعة رضي الله عنه قال أبو سعيد رضي الله عنه: إذا كنت في البوادي فارفع صوتك بالنداء، فإني سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول: لا يسمع صوته شجر ولا مدر ولا حجر ولا جن ولا إنس إلا شهد له. رواه ابن خزيمة. Abu Sa'sa'at radiallahu anhu narrates that Abu Sa'id radiallahu anhu said, when you are in a desert or countryside, then call the adhan loudly, as I have heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, no tree or clod of earth or rock or jinn or man shall hear his voice except that they will bear witness for him on the day of resurrection. Ibn Khuzayma. وعن البراء بن عازب رضي الله عنهما أن نبي الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على الصف المقدم والمؤذن يغفر له بمد صوته ويصدقه من سمعه من رطب ويابس وله مثل أجر من صلى معه. رواه النسائي. باب رفع الصوت بالأذان. Bara ibn Azab radiallahu anhuma narrates that Nabiullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, verily Allah and his angels send blessings upon the persons of the first row. The one who calls adhan receives forgiveness to the extent to which he raises his voice. All living and non-living things who hear his call testify to it, and for him is a reward equivalent to all those who perform salat with him. An-Nasai. One interpretation of the second sentence of this hadith is that the mu'adhineen shall receive forgiveness for his sins to the extent that his voice reaches. Another interpretation is that the sins of the people living within the range of his voice will be forgiven by virtue of his intercession. وعن معاوية رضي الله عنه قال: سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول: المؤذنون أطول الناس أعناقا يوم القيامة. رواه مسلم. باب فضل الأذان. Muawiyah radiallahu anhu narrates, I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, the mu'adhineen will have the longest necks amongst the people on the day of resurrection. Rawah Muslim. Islamic scholars have mentioned several interpretations to this hadith. As people go to the masjid to offer salat in response to the adhan of mu'adhineen, it is as though he is their leader and they are his followers. A leader is like a chief who has a long neck which makes his head prominent. The mu'adhin shall raise mu'adhin shall raise his head high, longing to gaze at his magnificent reward, thus giving the appearance of the longest neck. The mu'adhin shall hold his head high as he has nothing to regret by virtue of his calling the adhan, whereas the one who regrets or is ashamed of his actions lowers his head in humility and shame. Number four, the long snake is an racial or description depicting the mu'adhdhinin as the most prominent of all on the plane of reckoning. Still others have mentioned that the mu'adhdhinin will proceed speedily towards paradise.